camera is very special to me. This is my parents' camera. This camera took photos of my childhood, and now this camera reintroduced me to film photography. Hi, I'm Mix. I'm a new film photographer and I post videos about my film photography journey. And I started shooting film roughly 1 year ago. And the first camera that introduced me to film photography is this Ricoh 35 EFL point and shoot film camera. This camera is my parents' old camera. This camera was already being neglected. It was just in a corner collecting dust, and I would occasionally just pick it up and just play with the shutter. And since no one is using this camera for decades already, the light meter doesn't work, the flash doesn't work, but the shutter still works. And even the film door is broken, it won't close shut, so I have to use a lot of electrical tape just to keep it closed and to make sure that there is no light leaks. You could categorize this one as a broken camera, but since the aperture and shutter are still working, it's still a usable camera, especially since this is a fully manual camera. I want to talk about this camera because there's a lot of new interest in film photography this 2019 and 2020. I think like me, a lot of people rediscover this medium and fell in love with it. But you could see a lot of questions, especially in Facebook group, of what should be their first film camera. But for me, and this is just my opinion, your first film camera is something that you already own. Photography, like any hobby, can get expensive, and film photography is no different, especially right now that film prices are getting expensive. And you could see in the online market that film cameras are also getting expensive. For anyone starting film photography, the best route is just to borrow a camera, ask your parents, ask your aunties, your titas, or maybe your friend if they have a film camera that you could borrow, or better yet, give to you. So right now I have another point and shoot camera. I have a SLR camera, and I recently bought a half frame camera, but I still use this from time to time because this camera taught me about film photography. When I first used this camera, most of my photos are underexposed or out of focus, but as I keep using it, I think I got a little bit better. For example, this photo was taken from my first roll of film, and this photo was taken, I think, 5 months after. For me, I could really see the difference and the improvement I made in film photography just looking at both pictures. Like I said, I still use this camera even though I have better film cameras right now. And the last time I used this was 2 months ago, November 2019, during All Souls Day. I popped in a Kodak Gold film on this one, walk around All Souls Day, and took some photos. The day started pretty okay. I was able to take some photos, but suddenly this camera won't advance, and I panicked a little bit. But the good thing is that this camera is fully manual, so I could manually rewind the film and retake a photo and just advance it again. And as a result, I got a few double exposure shots that wasn't intended, but some turned out pretty good. But the camera keeps on acting up. So I just decided to just rewind the whole film and call it a day. You know what I want to know? What's your first film camera and why did you pick that film camera? I hope, like me, you learned something new about film photography. If you have any questions or comment, just comment down below. Again, I am Migs. Thank you for watching. Till next time. Bye.